So, hello and welcome to another day in the life of an activist lawyer. This is just me going to gym before work. I find it to be very rejuvenating. And then next, you're going to just see clips of the office. So, the day prior, my colleague and I had chatted about an opportunity to meet with the deputy mayor of Howick. And this is not really something that he enjoys. He prefers not to be public facing or in media and not to get involved in the political side of our activism. And so, he prefers to just be doing litigation and obviously the paperwork behind that litigation, client consults, that kind of thing. Some of this is due to personality and temperament, but some of it is also just that I have privileges that he doesn't. So because this is like tribal, ethnic, and linguistic conflicts, and specifically between black people, and me not being black, it means that I'm essentially not a target. Oh, this is the executive building, by the way. So I just feel it's important for me with that privilege to use that privilege as much as I possibly can. You know, there's a poem about Nazi Germany and how I didn't stand with the communists because I was not a communist. Then they came for the Jewish people. I was not Jewish, so I didn't stand with them. And then when they came for me, essentially, there was nobody left to stand with me. So I just think that it's very important for me to use my privilege as much as I possibly can. This is just clips within that Howick meeting room thing. And this is collage, by the way. It's absolutely beautiful. So I obviously didn't film the meeting because I felt that would be very rude, but the Howick mayor was very down to earth and very aware of what's happening on the ground. And then we obviously met with South African Police Service head and that kind of thing. And it was just NGOs, civil society, as they called themselves, the usual suspects, you know, when it comes to issues like this. So there is a June 30th deadline where the vigilantes said that they're going to inflict violence if there are any foreign nationals left in the country. So again, it's sort of tribalistic and ethnic conflicts and that kind of thing. But yeah, so we do what we can. Howick is approximately 100 kilometers west of my office, and that's not necessarily far, but the N3 is under construction, so it took quite a while. Quite a lot of my day was just taken up by driving. But I felt it was very important to show solidarity with the other NGOs. You know, people in power, government, all of that, they need to understand that we are united against this. The vigilantes, the populists, the reactionaries, that is not the majority within South Africa. There is a counter movement, and they need to also take the counter movement seriously. They can't just bow to populist pressure. So, I stopped at an antique shop while I was in Howick because I thought, let's support, yeah, I've seen Howick as a pit stop to the Drakensberg. You know, I don't really know the town very well. I know people within the town might be a bit insulted by that, but anyway, it's my dream. This is just the office, and I obviously left a little bit late, so it was a bit dark, and I just thought it was very beautiful. And, it's my dream to visit all 9 provinces within South Africa. I've visited 5 currently, and to travel. So I work for the United Nations, High Commissioner for Refugees, and to travel as essentially a United Nations diplomat is something I did not dream that I would do. So it was just so wonderful to, and I know Howick is not far at all, but I think it's just so beautiful that I'm following my greatest dreams. So these clips here of this show that we went to, it was Jack Johnson. I obviously muted it because copyright and things like that. But this was maybe on a weekend or something like that, but I just added it because sometimes after work I'll go see a show. My fiance might be working the sound and lighting. This one, he wasn't working for this one. He was working at a nearby school, and we just thought, hey, like, this is on, let's go and support. And it was absolutely fantastic. I had the time of my life. So yeah, it's just, this video is just to show you a good balance of my life. Obviously there is the activist law, and people think of the very public facing, very media heavy, speaking to politicians kind of thing. But I just want to show you that my colleague prefers not to do that, and so he has his lane. Some people work HR within NGOs, some people work in communication, some people work in litigation, some people are in organizing, some people are fundraising. There is a place for everybody. So if you see yourself in this kind of work, just know there is probably a place for you. And I also wanted to show you balance here, that I went to gym before work, I'll go and watch shows, and I do things so that I can intentionally break up work. Otherwise, it just becomes your entire identity, and it's unhealthy. You come there drained, and you don't have the energy that you would have if you poured back into yourself. So, anyway, I hope you found this video helpful, and like and subscribe if you want to do all of that. And yeah, have a great day further.